Thessalonica of Greece. This Group A matchup sees two teams who will have been among the favourites for playoff qualification from this group when the tournament started. It's not gone to plan for the Germans though. The Skyliners look to have turned it around with back-to-back wins, but then suffered a shock defeat in Denmark last week to fall to 2-3. Aris, on the other hand, had been flying a 4-game win streak before suffering their first defeat a week ago in the Czech Republic. 40 teams from 22 countries competing across 5 18 groups, but our focus tonight on Group A. Elsewhere in this group on game day 6, Helios Suns against Banvit and Bakken Bears against Naharia. The early tip-offs, you can see the latest scores for those games on that graphic. Monaco against Nymburk tips off half an hour after this one. Great to see plenty of travelling fans from Greece, as well as the fans of the home team, Fraport Skyliners. Aris level with Monaco and Banvit at the top of Group A coming into this week, all 4-1. Nymburk edging the Skyliners for 4th spot at the moment. Helios, Bakken Bears and Naharia all desperate for wins to stay in touch. The top 4 are guaranteed a playoff spot. The 4 best 5th place teams from the 5 groups will also make it through to the next round. Our feature Group A game this evening sees 2 big names in continental competition come face to face. Fraport Skyliners, reigning Europe Cup champions, against former 3-time European champions Aris Thessalonica. Here's a look at the Aris roster. Devon Marble, one of 3 Americans who can really do a bit of everything, along with Michael Jenkins and Will Cummings. Those 3 all averaging over 12 points per game and all chipping in with rebounds, assists and steals. They also have Vlado Jankovic, who's come in on loan from Valencia for the last couple of games and averaged a superb 15.5 points per game so far. Fraport Skyliners have Kwame Vaughan right at the top of that roster. Their superstar leads the team in points, assists and steals in this competition. Michael Morrison, another American, is also key, leads the team in rebounds and blocks. And Kene Ebekwe is an American-born Nigerian international who's averaging close to 11 points per game and over 5 rebounds per game in under 17 minutes a game so far in the Basketball Champions League. Fraport still looking to find their feet in this competition and fight for the top 4 in Group A. Aris looking to respond to their first defeat last week and maintain their place at the top of the pile. The Greeks being introduced officially onto the court at the moment have changed many pieces of their roster in the off-season. The new puzzle has fitted together with ease though so far. The same old steely determination on the defensive end, a plethora of weapons on the offensive end. 4 players currently averaging over 12 points per game. Aris will have their work cut out for them in keeping their place at the top of the group against this Fraport Skyliners team who have underachieved and underperformed so far. They need to really start to turn it on now, and they get a chance here on home court on game day 6 against the group leaders to really send out a message that they mean business and they're looking for a playoff place. Home fans ready to welcome their team. And here they come, the reigning Europe Cup champions, competing in a strong German Bundesliga. Fraport Skyliners came into this competition as one of the favourites to make the playoffs from Group A. Their poor start made it more of an uphill battle, but then came back-to-back wins. They looked to be back on track before being derailed by the Bakken Bears in Denmark last week. They have also had to deal with the loss of their head coach at the start of the campaign as well due to medical leave after a back operation. They're desperate to get it all together and start showing the kind of quality that won them their first ever continental crown last season. Fraport Skyliners 2 and 3. At the start of play this evening, started with back-to-back 18-point defeats at Monaco on game day 1 and here against Banvit on game day 2. Then won 2 in a row by 5 at Elias Sons and by 13 at home to Nürnberg. But last week they lost by 6 at Bakken Bears, the first team to lose to the Bears in the Basketball Champions League. They had some really disappointing individual performances and as a team shot under 40% from the field. They took 6 fewer shots than the Bears, who grabbed 3 extra offensive rebounds. Can't afford to make those kind of mistakes and have that kind of inaccuracy and those kind of subpar individual performances against this Aris Thessalonica team this evening. Aris unbeaten over the first 4 games before eventually losing last week. They started with an 8-point win at Elias Sons, then a 16-point home win over Bakken Bears before a 32-point win at Aroni Naharia, and then a 6-point win over Banvit 2 weeks ago. But then last week they lost by 8 at Nürnberg. They shot 41% outside last week, hit 9 three-pointers, but they let Nürnberg shoot 57% inside. They got dominated in the paint, 52 to 32. And they also turned the ball over 20 times, so they'll be desperate to get back on track. Here's their starting 5. I've talked about a number of those players. Eric Buckner is one I haven't mentioned. He's a huge presence inside, 1.3 blocks per game so far this season. He holds a number of block records in college basketball over the pond, and the head coach for Aris Thessalonica, Dimitris Priftis, the 2016 Greek League Coach of the Year. Here's the Fraport Skyliners starting 5. Again, I've mentioned a number of those players. Kwame Vaughan, absolutely key for them, but Quintez Robertson, Michael Morrison and Siobhan Shields also have the ability to score big. Siobhan Shields averaging 14.7 points per game in the Bundesliga this season to lead the team in scoring. Nicholas Kiel is a new addition to the roster. And they're still, in fact, under the charge of Klaus Purvis as temporary coach, with Gordon Herbert on medical leave. Well, Coach Priftis will expect a response from his team here this evening after that disappointing defeat to Nürnberg last week. The home fans will want to see a performance from their team as well. And Fraport Skyliners will be desperate to put that defeat in Denmark to the Bakken Bears behind them. Every team in this Basketball Champions League has their own qualities, but that defeat for them on the road in Denmark, in Aarhus, was seen as an embarrassing one within the 2 respective representations and views of the 2 teams. Bakken Bears having lost 4 straight against the Europe Cup champions in Fraport Skyliners. And everybody expected the Skyliners win streak to stretch to 3 and for all to be right for them again, but it didn't turn out that way. Now they have to find a way to start moving in the right direction again here on home court. The former German champion against a multiple-time Greek champion. It's the reigning Europe Cup holders taking on a three-time continental champion, Fraport Skyliners, against Aris Thessalonica, live on game day 6 of the Basketball Champions League. It's Aris who are going to look for the first score here. Buckner moves it on. Michael Jenkins. Across to the far side it goes. So many weapons on offense from the Greeks. The first shot way off the mark as Dragicevic got a bit of contact, tried to create some room. Not the best offense from the Greeks early on. Here's Siobhan Shields. Fantastic atmosphere at the Fraport Arena. The home team looking for the first score. Offensive rebound grabbed by Morrison. And then there was some contact. The shot clock reset now to 14. It didn't originally hit the rim, so there was only 4.7 seconds remaining. Non-shooting foul, so the inbound. Kiel waiting for an option. Morrison on the foul line puts the ball on the floor, but he's called for a travel. Not the best start for both teams here in the opening minute. The very talented Will Cummings handling the ball over half court. Now his fellow American Jenkins onto another in Eric Buckner. Jenkins back to Buckner for the big dunk. An emphatic way to start the game from Eric Buckner. Michael Morrison, they just stand off him. They know he's not going to shoot the outside shot. Vaughan, this time Robertson will shoot the outside shot, but it's off the mark, and coast to coast all the way down court with the contact goes Jenkins. And if the Greek fans weren't already rowdy, they are now. Michael Jenkins with a chance to complete a three-point play and to give Aris a 5-point lead after a minute and a half. And he does. So 3 points and an assist already for Michael Jenkins. Kwame Vaughan. Kiel swiftly moves it on across to Robertson. Vaughan's taken up a position on this near corner, then looks to make a move. The attack will come from the far side. Siobhan Shields trying to roll around the frame of Mortosh, who's called for the foul. Siobhan Shields, young American-born player who's declared to play for Denmark. Kwame Vaughan, corner of the paint, hangs it up there. Just about kept in play by Morrison, but then thrown into Aris' hands. The Greeks have a chance to continue their momentum early on, and they do. Michael Jenkins has 5 points in the opening 2 minutes, and Aris start with a 7-point surge. Vaughan. The Greek fans making plenty of noise. Lost on the dribble by Kiel. Here they come again. Thrown up and off the mark. No contact. They'll battle for the rebound, and Fraport come away with it. And then the foul towards centre court. That fast break threatened to rub salt in Fraport Skyliners' wounds. I get the feeling that could prove to be a vital stop in transition on defence. Had it gone to a 9-point start, it really would have been a mountain to climb already for the Europe Cup champions. 3 turnovers in the opening 2.5 minutes from the Germans. desperate to get some points on the board now. 4 fouls on Aris though. That might just play into Fraport Skyliners' hands. Vaughan looking to inbound off the baseline. This is Robertson. Vaughan making a move to receive the ball now. Screen set by Morrison. Vaughan around the screen. Morrison peels away. Vaughan will throw it up himself. Short, well contested, never going to go down, and Buckner the rebound. Here's Will Cummings. Jankovic with the pass inside. Buckner had it knocked away, able to recover. Still 5 seconds on the shot clock. The three off the mark. Rebound for Buckner though. Again, he almost dropped it. And this time there's a foul on Nicholas Keel. And has it gone on Quintez Robertson? He was surrounded in the paint, Eric Buckner. But what a huge force he is inside. We've seen that already. A few offensive rebounds. Such a physical frame. Jenkins, shot clock reset to 14. Jenkins has the pass tipped and into the hands of Robertson. Shields hangs it up towards Michael Morrison. There's a whistle on the play. They almost lost it on the break there. Fraport Skyliners. It was a nice pass to force the ball to Siobhan Shields when it looked like it might go out on the near side of the court. It is a foul on Aris Thessalonica, so after just 3.5 minutes, they're over the foul limit. They've got a 7-0 start, but for the next 6.5 minutes, the home side will be shooting free throws for every foul. They still can't get themselves a point though. Michael Morrison off the mark. He's averaged 7.6 points per game off 64% shooting from the field so far in this competition, as well as leading the team in rebounds and blocks. But from the line, 2 misses. Siobhan Shields trying to put it back in. Finally gets the Germans going. Off the offensive rebounds from a missed foul shot. Xanthopoulos trying to get away over on the far side. Back it goes to Dragicevic. Dragicevic inside, trying to just dish it off towards Buckner, who couldn't grab the handle on the ball, and here comes Shields down court. Nice pass inside, and the dunk for Morrison. Now Fraport have found their feet. Jenkins on quickly. Jankovic across to the far side to Jenkins again. Threatening the three was Dragicevic. Shot clock down to 5. He's getting inside, had it stripped by Shields, who's got the freedom of the Fraport arena to finish. After a 7-0 run to start the game for Aris, it's now a 6-point surge for the home team. Well, they're back into this one, and they're back with a bang. And I said at the time, on that fast break from Aris that would have made it a 9-0 start, that could prove to be a pivotal defensive stop in transition, and it has proved to be that way. Fraport Skyliners back within 1. Here's Jenkins in the high post, looking to move it on. Spin from Dragicevic, and he gets the roll as well with the contact. And he'll go to the line for a chance to add one more. Nadia Dragicevic, 30-year-old Serbian power forward at the line to try and complete the three-point play, and does. Antonio Graves moving it on. The pass out of the double team then by Morrison. They'll move it around the perimeter. Robertson moves it on as well. Here's Graves once more. 4 seconds left to shoot. Graves, the couple of crossovers towards the paint, pulls up mid-range two, knocked it down. Coolest man in the arena is Antonio Graves. Xanthopoulos on by Jenkins. Jankovic looking to turn, trapped by the double team against the baseline. It was a good pass out. The missed three though from Dragicevic, and a foul after the rebound. Great to see Gordon Herbert, the Fraport Skyliners head coach, in the arena this evening, recovering from that back surgery and hoping to be back on the bench and back calling the shots in the near future. The miss from the outside from Jenkins there. Chance for Fraport Skyliners to tie or maybe even take the lead here. 4 minutes of the first quarter to play. Kwame Vaughan turning away and starting again. 10 seconds still to work with here. Screen set by Morrison. He pulls up for the three. Looked flat all the way, wouldn't go down. And here comes Jenkins. Nice little bounce pass, and it gives a simple layup for Jankovic. And then there was a collision on the deck as Jankovic fell on top of Keel. And this is the pass from Jenkins. And it looked as though one Fraport Skyliner fell over another first. It was contact between two players on the same team. And then Jankovic had to try and hurdle the man that was down. Aris lead by 4 with 4 minutes of the first to play. Antonio Graves gets it back from Shields. Siobhan Shields shifts it onto the right side, moved on to Kwame Vaughan. Back in towards Shields. What a steal that is from Xanthopoulos. Read it beautifully. Jenkins fires it in to Jankovic, who looks to get into the paint, kicks it back out. Xanthopoulos knocks down the three, doing the damage at both ends of the floor. The steal at one end, the big dagger at the other. Aris Thessalonica have reopened a 7-point lead here in the first.
Next offense, we play 2 down. But make it solid big to we come, now he sees fast. Now he sees. Okay. Right now, hey, press offense, you take it out. They could go to press, pass the man. They soften us up, we go hard side, okay, otherwise we're 4 side. 4 sides of the fit. Let's get it, guys, let's go!
And that was a big dunk from Morrison. A nice pass into the low post. One of the few dunks we've seen in the first quarter here. Aris starting by scoring the first 7 points. Fraport the next 6, got within 1, but the Greeks have opened up a 7-point lead again, despite the return of Gordon Herbert to the Fraport Skyliners bench. What can his team do after the timeout? Robertson across to Shields. Shields spotted a gap, drove in, couldn't finish, but what a follow-up that is from Ebekwe. Ekene Ebekwe into the game and having an instant impact. Jenkins hangs it high, reeled in by Buckner, but he lost it. Here comes Vaughan. Back to Ekene Ebekwe. Now Graves. Graves waiting for movement. Ebekwe looking to set the screen. So too Shields. He's found a way around Graves but ran into trouble. Still prodding and probing. 5 to shoot. He fires up the 3. It looks short all the way and it's grabbed by Xanthopoulos. Calling for it on this side is Jankovic. Puts it on the floor. Forced away though by Robertson. Buckner calling for it inside. That's a mismatch against Vaughan. Into the final 10 seconds of the shot clock. Michael Jenkins looking to attack on the left hand, into the paint, hangs it up. Buckner recovers, and he's fouled. Well, the battles inside don't get much more physical than Kenny Abekwe versus Eric Buckner. That's going to be an interesting one to watch develop through the course of this evening. The Fraport Skyliners number 25 against the Aris Thessalonica number 20. On this occasion, it's Buckner who's been sent to the foul line. This is the first. Able to get the second. Aris lead by 6. Siobhan Shields trying to release it out of the press and unable to do so in time. Aris Thessalonica forcing a turnover from the Germans, and now have a chance to make it largest lead of the game as we enter the final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Jenkins to Xanthopoulos, who's done well since coming in. Around the screen of Buckner now. Cyrelis in for the first time. On it goes by Jenkins. A chance to attack towards the baseline for Jankovic, and a foul. I think it's another one on Abekwe, is it? No, it's on Robertson. No, it is Abekwe. I beg your pardon. So Kenny Abekwe, that would be a blow for Fraport Skyliners if he was to get into foul trouble. Aris themselves, by the way, do have Will Cummings on 2 fouls, as well as Spiros Mortosh. Cummings a big blow, though, one of their key scorers. Just 1 of 2 from the line again on that trip, this time for Jankovic. Abekwe, the first Skyliner, onto 2 fouls. It's a 7-point game. And we've got 90 seconds remaining in the first. Shields hands it off on the perimeter. Robertson, shot clock down to the final seconds. Robertson's going to fire the 3, he's short, and the rebound grabbed by Buckner. Jenkins. Jankovic, and another foul. Away from the ball over on the far side, this time I think on Max Mertz. Both teams over the foul limit now as we approach the final minute in this first quarter. Abekwe is going to take a seat for his troubles, and on comes Michael Morrison again. Two fouls in less than 3 minutes on court for Abekwe. And this for Michael Jenkins. Norris has missed 3 from the line now in this first quarter. He does get the second one though. Largest lead of the game at 8 points, and there's that press, but they play out of it this time, and it's hung high towards Morrison but knocked away by Buckner. Difficult to find a way around him, around the rim. Cyrelis looking to hand it off to Jenkins, who moves it on one further to Jankovic. Shot clock down to 5. Buckner trying to get inside, gets the ball now, chance to attack, chance to turn, but he can't finish. Here's Shields, able to go around the closeout, but he can't finish. And a chance now for Aris in transition. We've had a 4 or 5 second differential between shot and game clock at the end of the first quarter. Aris will hold it for as long as possible. Pass inside towards Buckner, and another foul. And a foul with 10.4 seconds remaining on Quintez Robertson, and a chance for Aris Thessalonica to open up a double-digit lead in the first quarter. And they keep finding Buckner inside. So far, 1 of 2 from the line. Their last 3 trips, in fact, to the foul line, Aris have gone 1 of 2. Buckner knocks down the first here. He was below his averages last week. 1 block, 1 rebound, 4 points in 13 minutes on court. Didn't quite have the same kind of impact we know he can have, but he's had an impact on this first quarter. A 10-point Aris lead, 10 seconds to play in the first. They've worked the ball quickly into a good position here. Robertson looking to drive, lost it though, underneath the hoop, and it's thrown up from 3/4 court, off the mark. But what a good first quarter for Aris Thessalonica, despite the presence of Gordon Herbert on the bench for Fraport Skyliners. It's the Greeks who lead 20-10 at the end of 1. And there's a look at the shooting numbers from the first quarter. Both sides doing well inside, both struggling from downtown.
Focus on one-on-one, okay? Focus on one-on-one. Communication. Outside, that's going to help control. Next offense. First of all, every time we run fistfully, I prefer the 4 men to pass the ball here and then to be a player. Okay? You got to get more ball movement. Our ball, and run 4 up guys. 4 up guys.
Well, Michael Jenkins, who played that pass in towards Eric Buckner, has been the standout player on court so far. 1 of 3 assists in the first quarter, as well as team high 6 points from the number 11. The jam for Buckner, a couple of his 5 points. And he's also pulled down 5 rebounds. Eric Buckner, those 2 dominating the stat line for the Greeks. Jenkins is 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 3 from the line, 3 rebounds and 3 assists, as well as his 6 points. And Fraport Skyliners have struggled to deal with them. That was a dunk for Michael Morrison, but they've had to work for most of their offensive possessions to try and find good looks at the basket, and have struggled to do so. They've just 5 of 13 from the field, including 0 of 4 from downtown, and only 10 points in 10 minutes of basketball so far for the defending Europe Cup champions. Morrison across to the far side. Robertson trying to make a move. It goes to Shields instead. High in towards the big man Morrison, but he misses as he turns around and takes on the shot. Xanthopoulos. Here's Jenkins. Around Buckner. Across to the near side. This is Cyrelis. Shot clock down to the final few seconds. Aggressive move to get inside. And what a finish from Mikhailis Cyrelis. Only averaging 2 points per game. And 11 minutes per game so far in this competition. Just 3 of 11 from the field before that one. Graves looking to hang it up again towards Morrison, but so many yellow jerseys back there to help divert the ball out of play on the far side. Morrison, the handoff to Vaughan. Vaughan is yet to score, missed both of his shots from the field so far. This time further away from the basket, looked well short from Robertson, from Morrison rather. That one's good though, from the far side from Antonio Graves. A basket that Fraport Skyliners desperately needed. They had a drought at the start of the first quarter, they didn't want one at the start of the second. Cyrelis fizzed in by Jankovic towards Buckner, knocked out of bounds, still going to be Aris ball. Coming in is Vasilis Simsak, 35-year-old Greek centre. And Buckner's going to have a rest for a moment. Simsak across to the far side, put up quickly. Oh, almost banked in by Xanthopoulos. Wouldn't go down. They still had a few seconds to work with. Morrison back to Vaughan. A chance for Fraport Skyliners to make it a single-digit game. Vaughan puts it up from mid-range, puts it in. His first points of the evening. And maybe now they'll click into gear. Xanthopoulos. Jenkins. And there's offensive foul called here against Cyrelis. Grappling with Siobhan Shields. So Aris Thessalonica turn the ball over, and Fraport Skyliners have the chance to make it a pretty close game again. Despite a 12-point lead for Aris, the home team now have the chance to halve the deficit, or maybe even more. Vaughan. Oh, we tried to find Morrison, who was square of him, but it's a really good interception over the head. Pass and put in by Cyrelis. The Greeks going coast to coast and finishing on the fast break. The Skyliners looking to attack from the far side. Here's Shields now. Moves it on to Vaughan. 6 seconds to work with for Kwame Vaughan. Couple of crossovers, trying to find room. Steps back, nails the shot. Back-to-back baskets for Vaughan. And Fraport looking to get back into the game. Jenkins. Both teams shooting very well inside. We've had just one three-pointer in the game though. Cyrelis can't link that time with Simsak. And here come the Skyliners again, and that's a foul. A hard foul from one number 4 and another. Xanthopoulos penalised for the hit on Vaughan. Plenty of contact as he steps across, and he's called for the unsportsmanlike. And he's going to protest his case as much as possible to the official. And it's a play that allows the home team to continue their momentum though. Kwame Vaughan at the foul line has hit back-to-back field goals, and now the foul shot. 5 quick-fire points for him. And make it 6 points for Vaughan in the last minute or two, having gone scoreless in the first 11 or 12 minutes. And Fraport Skyliners have possession of the basketball as well after the unsportsmanlike. They've reduced the arrears to 6, and they've got a chance to get a bit closer. Antonio Graves up against Jenkins, who's trying to track him all the way. Beckway's back in the action. Graves fires from the outside and knocks it down, and the German joy continues. From 12 down, they're within 3. And that one forces a timeout from Aris Thessalonica.
On defense, we cannot play like this. We let this guy now, to get in the game. Under the guys. This side 4. You go all the way and have the offense. Secure the pass.
And here's one of the plays from Aris Thessalonica that might make the highlight reel, the over-the-head pass and the finish from Cyrelis, but it's been all about the Germans over the last few minutes. They've gone on a run. Antonio Graves knocking down this three-pointer that gets them within 3, having trailed by 12. Aris led 24-14. It's 7 unanswered points for the Germans. The home fans looking to raise the volume at the Fraport Arena. Jankovic. There's a wrestling match off the ball as Dragicevic is trying to get himself well positioned against Shields, and Shields called for the foul. Can't believe it. There was so much physicality between those two. Shields thought he'd given no more than he got. Called for his second. Xanthopoulos to Jenkins. Oh, he spotted a gap and drove on the left hand, and it was a nice finish. Aris just about keeping Fraport at bay. Vaughan across to Graves, who hit the 3 on their last possession. This time the mid-range 2 wouldn't go, and Aris will come away with it. Jankovic. From one side of the court to the other to Xanthopoulos, who's looking to go around a couple of frames. It's a nice pass off the mark though for Dragicevic. The rebound pulled down by Bekwe, who's back in playing on those 2 fouls. Here's Vaughan. He has to take the ring road back and start again. Vaughan across to Bekwe, he'll shoot the 3. Wouldn't go down for the big man, but an offensive rebound. Vaughan again, a fresh 14 seconds to work with. Midway point of the second quarter, knocked away from behind, and it's still Fraport Skyliners' ball. 6 seconds remaining on the shot clock. It's looked at times like Aris might pull away in this one, given Fraport's struggles in this competition so far. Their lack of confidence, but the return of the head coach has perhaps given them a bit of extra motivation and momentum here this evening. And they've dug deep and they've stuck with the Greeks, who are flying high themselves. Although that'll be a disappointing turnover for the home team, as they were building momentum and looking to close the gap. Bekwe back out with Morrison returning. Bodoris Zaras is in the game for Aris as well. Jankovic, back it goes, moved on by Xanthopoulos. The 3 from the far side is good. Just the second of the game for Aris, but they extend the lead to 8 points. Graves. On it goes to Vaughan, guarded by his opposite number again. Looking to back in, go one-on-one, knocked away from Xanthopoulos, who's so quick with those steals. 1.8 steals per game in the competition from him so far. Graves, oh, knocked away right at the end of the shot clock. Here come Aris down court. Jankovic trying to force it up. Kiel got a piece of it though, and Fraport will come away with it. Vaughan looking to go all the way, got contact. Didn't quite get the roll that perhaps a bit of skill deserved. And tempers are starting to fray here in Fraport as well. These two really fighting for this win in the Basketball Champions League. Fraport Skyliners have fought back from a 12-point deficit. They've got themselves within 3, but now fallen 8 behind again. And Kwame Vaughan with a couple of foul shots will try and edge them a little bit closer, with 4 minutes and 15 seconds of the first half to play. And this is the second one, and that's a big rebound for Vasilis Simsak, and he's fouled in the process. And it's on Nicholas Keel by the looks of it. So it's a 7-point lead, 7 points now in the quarter for Kwame Vaughan. Xanthopoulos. Simsak making his move across to the far side, created a bit of room for the three. Wouldn't go down, and here comes Vaughan in transition again. Looked to the far side of the court to Robertson, then changed his mind. Here's Morrison. And there's a foul off the ball again. It's Xanthopoulos and Vaughan. The foul is on the Greek. And that is turning into a really feisty contest. Second foul on Xanthopoulos and the fourth team foul on Coach Priftis' side. Vaughan inbounding, getting it back from Morrison. And there's another foul away from the ball, and I think it might be on Xanthopoulos again. And that's the fifth team foul on Aris Thessalonica. This one's gone on Tadija Dragicevic, the Serbian. A couple of fouls off the ball, though, in the space of just a few seconds. And for the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds, Fraport Skyliners will be in the bonus. Nicholas Keel unable to take advantage so far. Just 1 point in 5 minutes on his Basketball Champions League debut. Missing all 3 of his shots, but he's in the starting lineup for this one here this evening. That's his first point. Xanthopoulos up against Vaughan again. High pressure from Robertson and a foul called as he thought he could get the steal. Quintez Robertson, one of their leading performers in the successful Euro Cup campaign last season. He was averaging over 11 points, 4 rebounds a game, as well as nearly 1.5 steals a game, nearly 3 assists. Shields back in. Aris. And it goes to Dragicevic. He's looking to back in and spins away. The pass is recovered on the far side. Just a few seconds to shoot. The step back 3 won't go down. Offensive rebound and put back in, though, by Buckner, who's back in and back with a bang. He just cleans up in the paint. Nobody can get near him. Such a physical frame, such a towering leap. And the timeout called. Aris keep themselves in front with a bit of breathing room.
We see the high low. When Xanthopoulos touch the ball. Javon, you got it. Nicholas, go set the screen for Javon. You come get it right there. Okay? After that, you got to take a hand up. Go set a screen for Nicholas. Try to pass in the ball high low.
Three-point shots have been hard to come by on this court in the first half. That one of just 3 that's gone down for both teams combined. Aris 2 of 9 from the outside. Fraport Skyliners 1 of 6. The last play we saw, though, was enjoyed by those travelling fans from Greece. Eric Buckner with an offensive rebound And a couple of points, 7 points, 7 rebounds for him now. Shields looking to attack in the paint, knocks it down. And it's a 6-point game again. Xanthopoulos. Jankovic, Xanthopoulos throws it up high, reeled in. Not put in though by Dragicevic. Going to get around the big frame of Ibekwe. That's a nice quick early pass in towards the paint. Keel stopped by the double team though. Morrison trying to recover. Vaughan left with the open three. Can't take advantage. An offensive rebound for Keel. And a foul on Xanthopoulos. And that would be his third. Fraport Skyliners battling away on the boards. And get themselves a couple of foul shots. Vasilis Xanthopoulos straight to the bench. Nicholas Keel was 1 of 2 on his previous trip to the line. Gets them both this time. And the gap has been closed to 4 again. Dimitris Flionis, a 19-year-old point guard in the game in place of Xanthopoulos. Jenkins, and there's contact from Graves. 2 Americans coming together. 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. Michael Jenkins, the star of the show in the first quarter, hasn't quite had the same effect in the second. He had 6 points and 3 assists in the first quarter, just 2 points, 0 assists in this quarter, but he adds a point from the line and has a chance to move on to double figures now with this one, the leading scorer in the game. 10 points for Michael Jenkins. Aris ahead by 6. Vaughan. Up against Flionis. Intercepted by Jenkins, but it fell kindly for Vaughan. Across to the far side. Keel swings it on one further. That's going to be a long 2. Offensive rebound though from Morrison. A fresh 14. Vaughan looking to attack. Nice bounce pass to Michael Morrison, who takes off for the big dunk. Flionis. Jenkins moving inside, looking for the alley-oop. Finishes Buckner. A Buckner blockbuster to answer back after the big dunk from Morrison. Well, it's almost as if Aris said, anything you can do, we can do too. And Buckner gets the tip ahead of Morrison that time to get the Greeks back in possession. They lead by 6. 2 huge highlight reel plays coming at the end of the first half. Jenkins hangs it up. Oh, back-to-back alley-oops for Buckner. The human highlight reel taking charge at the end of the first half. Well, this was the one for Morrison. Buckner said, I'll take your dunk and I'll raise you one more. Eight-point Aris lead, final minute to the first. Lovely finish off the fingertips of Vaughan. We've played nearly 20 minutes, but all of the quality moves have come in the last 2. A fantastic way to end the first half. Vaughan now has 9 points. And it's as if these 2 teams are trading highlight reel plays to try and grasp the momentum heading into the break. Jenkins, Buckner's made his move again. This time it's across to the far side and tipped out of bounds by Vaughan. Jenkins, the pass in to Dragicevic. Shot clock down to the final seconds. He tries to find Buckner, but they've turned it over. A travel called on the Serbian. 4.5 second differential between shot and game clock at the end of the half. Fraport Skyliners possession. They trail by 6. Both teams over the foul limit in the second quarter. Siobhan Shields in off the bench. And with Kwame Vaughan dictating the tempo, the Germans will look to use the length of this shot clock to leave Aris Thessalonica with as little time as possible to respond. And respond they have done time and time again in the closing minutes of this second quarter. Fraport Skyliners have done their very best to get within touching distance of the Greeks, who have always had their noses in front. Vaughan looking to make his move now, and there's contact off the ball from Robertson. 8.1 seconds remaining. I didn't see what happened there. I was watching the ball handler. Aris penalised for the foul, and Kwame Vaughan goes to the line. I did wonder for a second if it might have been a foul the other way on Morrison. Coach Priftis was not happy with the call. Shot clock turned off at the end of the second. Vaughan is going to inbound, and Fraport Skyliners have the chance to make it a 3 or 4 point game heading into the half. Vaughan to the corner, Graves the three, bang! Right at the buzzer. They halve the deficit to 3. Fraport Skyliners steal the momentum heading into the break. Having trailed by as many as 12 points in the first half, they're back within 3. At half-time, Aris 37, Fraport Skyliners 34. It's been a high-quality game, but what an advert for the Basketball Champions League the last 2 or 3 minutes have been. Highlight reel play after highlight reel play, and topped off by a buzzer-beating 3 from the corner. Look at the shooting numbers. Aris dominant inside. They have Eric Buckner largely to thank for that, with his physical presence in the paint. The home side doing okay inside as well, but from the outside just 2 threes each. The second one for Fraport Skyliners coming right at the buzzer at the end of the second. They have the slight edge in terms of the rebounding battle. 7 on the offensive glass to Aris's 4, but look at the assists from Aris, twice as many. They've moved the ball better in this first half. And 6 steals as well. 5 for Fraport Skyliners, showing how both teams have really fought and contested this one ever so well. They won't be happy with the 9 turnovers in the first half. The Skyliners, they'll hope to protect the ball better after the break. And it's been a hotly contested Basketball Champions League game here on game day 6. Here's a look at the leaders. Buckner with 11 points and 7 rebounds, closing in on a double-double. And a couple of alley-oop finishes towards the end of that second quarter as well for Eric Buckner. Just looking at the rest of the scorers, 10 points as well for Michael Jenkins for Aris. So 2 in double figures before the half. 5 assists for Jenkins as well. And for Fraport Skyliners, 10 for Graves, but 9 for Vaughan, who's got a couple of assists and a couple of steals to his name. And here's some of the highlight reel plays from that first half. One of Buckner's many dunks found by Jenkins early on, and that really set the tone. Michael Jenkins linking up with his fellow American, Eric Buckner. Jenkins scoring and assisting in that first half. 5 assists, as well as his 10 points. He was 3 of 6 from the field, 4 of 5 from the line. Fraport Skyliners with some big plays of their own as well. Michael Morrison, an open dunk that time, found by Shields. As well as the contribution from Graves and from Vaughan. They've had 6 points from Shields, 4 from Morrison. One of 11 steals we saw in that first half. Siobhan Shields running the length of the floor for an easy 2. There wasn't many easy points in the first quarter for Fraport Skyliners. They scored just 10 points in 10 minutes, but then 24 in the second quarter. Almost 2.5 times the output. They really kicked into gear and found their flow. But after closing a 12-point deficit down to 3, Aris looked to pull away again. And a 3 for Xanthopoulos, who came into the game and had a big impact, then had to take a seat with foul trouble, picking up 3 in the second quarter. Shields driving inside here, and a big putback from Beckway, who also had a bit of foul trouble in the first and had to sit for a while. Beckway and Robertson inside for Fraport Skyliners, trying to do their best to deal with the huge presence of Eric Buckner. And it's been difficult to find a way around him at the rim, but Beckway was able to do so there. That was a lovely finish from Mikhailis Cyrelis, who came in and hit a couple of shots. And Kwame Vaughan, who didn't score at all in the first 12 minutes, got going in the second. 9 points in the second quarter. 3 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from the line. Lovely over-the-head assist there for Cyrelis, the second of his 2 field goals. The pass from Jankovic, who knew exactly where his teammate was. Scintillating stuff on the fast break. Just check there and threw it over his head. Beautifully done. Another couple of Kwame Vaughan's points. Missed his first 2 field goal attempts in the game. He's hit 3 of his last 4. And then we get to the stage where those highlight reel plays really started to kick in. That 3 from Antonio Graves forced a timeout from Aris. They got Fraport within touching distance of their Greek visitors again. And then came the introduction of Buckner, though. And they hit one themselves from the outside, just across the midway point of that second quarter. Just 2 3-pointers for each team in the first half. And this was Buckner, able to clean up on the boards. He put that one in. The next couple of field goals for the big man were thunderous alley-oops. That was the dunk for Morrison, found by Vaughan. Buckner had a huge answer back for Aris, though, just seconds later. Rising to the rim so easily off the pass from Jenkins, who was looking for his teammate all the time, peeled away off the screen. And no one was going to get near him for that one. Corner 3 for Fraport Skyliners, trying to keep them close right at the end. We missed the second alley-oop finish for Aris. So Fraport Skyliners 34, Aris 37. The score at half-time. Do join us for the second half in around 5 minutes' time. Welcome back to the Fraport Arena. We've had a wonderful first half that for the most part has been close, although Aris have led for the vast majority. They were up by 12 before their lead was cut to 3, went back up by 8 again, and coach Gordon Herbert's team have cut the deficit down to 3 again with a buzzer-beating shot from the corner. And what a last couple of minutes we had in that second quarter. The 3 dunks in a row, one from Michael Morrison for Fraport, and then back-to-back alley finishes for Buckner to answer back with authority. Let's hope we get more of that in the second half. He'll be happy that his team have got back within touching distance of their Greek opponents right at the end of the quarter. And they come out at the start of the second half, perhaps with a bit more momentum and an extra spring in their step. Side led by the 10 points of Antonio Graves. He's 4 of 6 from the field, 9 points and 2 assists and 2 steals from Kwame Vaughan, who took a while to get going but then kicked into gear in the second quarter. 6 points from Siobhan Shields. The Greeks led by the 11 of Buckner, who's also got 7 rebounds, 4 of 5 from the field, and 4 big dunks to boot. 10 points and 5 assists from his fellow American Michael Jenkins. Nobody else, by the way, for Aris has got more than 4. The Greeks lead by 3 at the start of the third quarter. To attack from the far side, Cyrelis then moves it on to Will Cummings, who's back in the game after foul trouble in the first half. Cummings, their leading scorer in this competition so far, looking to get going right at the start of the second half, but he's tracked all the way, and it was a difficult shot that wouldn't drop. Here's Vaughan. Hands it off to Robertson, and moves it on to Keel. Keel one further to Shields. Back to Kwame Vaughan again, and there's a whistle and an offensive foul called on Nicholas Keel away from the ball. Fraport Skyliners not happy with that. I think it was Will Cummings who took a bit of an elbow from Nicholas Keel. So no change to the scoreline in the opening 40 seconds of the third quarter. And didn't play any further part in the first half. He's lost it there, poked away by Morrison, who can run the floor and finish with authority. The turnover from Cummings, who now is a missed shot and a turnover to his name in the opening minute or so of this quarter. The 3 won't go down for Aris. There's another whistle underneath this time as the Greeks were looking for the rebound, but this was the dunk from Michael Morrison, who had the freedom of the Fraport Arena to finish. You'd have to say Eric Buckner just about got the better of him in a dunk contest in the end of the first half. Morrison has opened up the contest again here in the third quarter. And there looking for the answer back was Buckner, but he had his route to the rim blocked off this time. Here goes Vaughan. Vaughan to give Fraport Skyliners the lead. He might get a second chance here. Kwame Vaughan, shot clock down to the final 5 seconds. The 3, hand in his face from Buckner, wouldn't go down. Now a chance for Aris to run the floor. Cummings forced to turn away. Looking for Buckner, who's in a wrestling match there with Robertson. Buckner catching the ball further away from the rim than he would like, and he draws contact from the tenacious Quintez Robertson. And how do you guard Eric Buckner? So difficult. And Cummings, nice adjustment to flip it in off the window. Will Cummings, the leading scorer in the Basketball Champions League for Aris Thessalonica, gets his first points of this game 2 minutes into the second half. Missed his only 2 shots in the first half. Graves across to the far side to Vaughan. Vaughan trying to get away from Cummings and called for the travel. So things starting to go the way of Will Cummings after a tough start to this third quarter and a tough start to the game with his foul trouble. Now he forces a turnover and gets his first points on the board. Aris leading by 3, have possession again. Cummings across to Cyrelis. Tried to bounce it in towards Jankovic, had a bit too much on it, and he couldn't connect with his teammate, so he turns it over. Vaughan across to Morrison. Now Graves. Keel. Quintez Robertson. Shot clock down to the final 5 seconds. The handoff there from Morrison. The shot is good for Graves. Is that a 2 or a 3? It's a 3. So the score tied at 39. Here's Cummings. Circus shot won't go, but Eric Buckner follows up. Now Buckner backlash. 13 points now and 5 dunks. Well, this is the one from Graves that got Fraport Skyliners level. It was a 3, rightly so. From 12 down they tie, but that lasted only a few seconds because Eric Buckner took charge off the rebound and the putback at the other end. Vaughan. That one won't count for Morrison. It is a dunk contest again between those two, Michael Morrison and Eric Buckner. Shake of the head from the 26-year-old American. And they're very similar in their physiques. They're the same age as well, Morrison and Buckner. Buckner a few centimetres taller. Here's Jankovic with the 3. Aris ahead by 5. Graves, Keel, looking to drive through the paint, although he turns it over. And Fraport Skyliners have been guilty of that over the last minute or two. Unnecessary turnovers. And 13 in the game now. Will Cummings, Buckner setting the screen this time, then moving inside. Jenkins. Cummings into the paint, across to the far side. The 3 wouldn't go this time. Big rebound though for Jankovic. The tip this time for Cummings. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Fraport Skyliners just unable to take care of their own glass, and the ricochets off their own rim. They're struggling to deal with the athleticism and the size inside of Aris, and they get away with it that time. Antonio Graves taking the ring road back to Quintez Robertson. Inside it goes. Robertson, the hook shot this time. Buckner the rebound. Jenkins. Jenkins across to the far side. Midway point of the third quarter. Aris by 5 and a travel called on Mikhailis Cyrelis. Merckx, the 22-year-old German guard, thrown into the action by Coach Herbert. This is Morrison. Foul straight away on Jankovic. Just the second of the quarter on Aris. It's only the first for Vlado Jankovic. Siobhan Shields off to Merckx now. Looking to drive in against Cummings. Here's Morrison up against Buckner. Oh, Buckner with the rejection. Morrison grabs it again, but Buckner gets the better of him once more. Jenkins. Cyrelis, back it goes to Cummings. Jankovic. Jenkins, the three, got it. Fraport Skyliners got themselves level, but Aris have answered with an 8-0 run. And the three from Michael Jenkins will force Fraport to call timeout. We just saw the shooting numbers there for both of these teams, both hitting 3 from the outside now, and pretty much the same percentage inside as each other. Aris just the one extra field goal in the game than their hosts here this evening, but in what looks like it's going to be a game of fine margins, they've got the edge from the foul line, 9 of 12. Fraport Skyliners 6 of 11, so missed foul shots could come back to haunt the Germans. They trail by 8 points. Here goes Shields down the baseline. He got free to finish. There's a foul away from the ball again there. I think it's on Robertson. And that will be Fraport Skyliners' 4th of the quarter. It's the 3rd on Quintez Robertson. Cummings. 4 minutes of the 3rd to play. Cummings gets it back from Jankovic. Buckner setting the screen and rolls away inside. 3 left on the shot clock, short from Jankovic. And here comes Robertson. Now stopped by Michael Jenkins, who got a hand up. And Cummings able to pick it up. And a missed opportunity in transition for Fraport Skyliners. Here goes Cummings. Draws the attention of the defense, and Cyrelis with the nice finish again. He's having a very good game, Mikhailis Cyrelis. Shields drove the baseline last time, takes on Cyrelis once more. The pass down the baseline this time. Ibekwe, shot clock into the final seconds, and contact called. It's the first foul on Eric Buckner. He's played 22 minutes without picking up a foul. Kwame Vaughan back in. 9 points so far for Fraport Skyliners. Non-shooting foul, so the inbound from the baseline. Siobhan Shields. Antonio Graves. Final 3 minutes of the quarter, and there's another foul called. Aris catching Fraport Skyliners up in the foul count here in the third quarter. Max Mertz, the inbound, gets it back off a Beckway. Beckway rolls inside, Mertz back out to Shields. Shields spots a gap, eye of the needle stuff. He finds a way through and gets contact along the way. Brilliant footwork through the paint from Shields. Great determination, great adjustment of the shot. And a chance to add one more from the foul line now. And he does, to make it a 5-point game. Siobhan Shields now into double figures. Cummings moving it on to Jankovic. Buckner. There's contact again away from the ball. Vaughan and Jankovic involved, as Eric Buckner was trying to play the role of facilitator that time as he came out to the perimeter. Vasilis Xanthopoulos back into the game. Played really well in the second quarter, but then had to take a seat because of foul trouble. Vlado Jankovic out the line, now has 7 points. He's averaged 15.5 over the first 2 games of his Basketball Champions League career, a team high 7.5 rebounds and 2 steals per game as well, since signing on loan from Valencia. It's 8 points and 3 assists for him this evening. Graves, the Beckway, the long 2, he moves it on instead. Now we'll go for the 3. He tried to upgrade. But the rebound, Aris, and a chance to extend their 7-point lead. Xanthopoulos. Handed back to him by Tyrelis. And again, there's another foul away from the ball. This time it's on Max Mertz. And Fraport Skyliners over the foul limit for the quarter, so Aris will go to the line. It's been a very stop-start now over the last few minutes. Michalis Tyrelis looking to take advantage of Fraport Skyliners' foul trouble. Only averages 2 points per game in this competition. It's 7 for him now this evening. 3 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from the foul line. Final 2 minutes of the third. Graves goes onto the right hand over the top of the defense and gets the drop after the soft touch. Xanthopoulos. Buckner setting the screen, moving inside now. Knocked away from Xanthopoulos though. A chance 3-on-2 down court for Fraport Skyliners. Graves running into the defense. And what a good play for Michael Jenkins there. Able to draw the offensive foul. He's outside of the charge circle and he gets his feet set and gets plenty of contact, and he really took one for the team. Aris by 6, Xanthopoulos. Now Jenkins on the offensive end. After that big defensive play, Buckner looking to roll away from Ibekwe. The three for Jenkins, won't go. Rebound grabbed by Ebekwe. Ebekwe on to Vaughan. Vaughan still on those 9 points. Into Ebekwe, who's fouled from behind by Mortosh. And that's going to be the third foul on Spiros Mortosh. Aris Thessalonica over the foul limit as well, so this time the home team go to the line and look to get a little bit closer in the final minutes of the third quarter. With Akene Ebekwe, born in California but represented Nigeria at the London Olympics back in 2012. He shot 71% from the field so far in this competition, averaged close to 11 points and 5 rebounds a game in under 17 minutes a game. Hasn't been able to be as dominant here this evening because of foul trouble and because he's faced Eric Buckner, who's every bit as physical. Here is Buckner. Across to the far side it goes. Given away though by Cyrelis. Another chance in transition, although Max Mertz trying to spin away on half court, lost it. Buckner back out. Jenkins, the three, got it. Big basket for Jenkins. Right at the end of the third quarter. Aris back up by 7. Michael Jenkins now with 16 points. Vaughan, shot clock down to 5 here. Vaughan trying to get away from Buckner. The pass to Ebekwe. Buckner was there to reject it, but the whistle had already gone. So Akene Ebekwe will go back to the foul line. Just 4 points this evening and 5 rebounds. He's only taken 3 shots from the field. He's only played 9 minutes because of that foul trouble. Picked up 3 in the first half. Nicholas Keel comes in with 8.5 seconds remaining in the third quarter. That's a big 8.5 seconds for Fraport Skyliners. They want to reduce the arrears to 5 and then get a defensive stop to go in to the fourth quarter in the best position possible from this stage. Ebekwe hit his first couple of foul shots just a few moments ago. He looks pretty comfortable there. 15 of 21 from the field over the first 5 weeks of the season. Just 1 of 3 so far here this evening. But 4 of 4 from the foul line. It's a 5-point game. And now Fraport Skyliners turn their attention to defense for these final 8.5 seconds of the third. Cummings looking to attack, knocked away. They might have a chance to fire from halfway. Keel off the mark, but a positive finish to the third for Fraport Skyliners. They were able to get level at one point before Aris opened up a gap again. And the Greeks lead by 5, 55-50, heading into the fourth. And the way this game has gone back and forth, plenty of scoring runs, anything is possible in the final quarter. Very even inside, but Aris now hitting an extra couple from downtown.
With number 10 we go through. With backway we switch, you understand? Okay, automatically switch. But you gotta fight inside for the rebound because there is the problem. One-on-one defense, you know, focus to the contested shot, but everybody rebound. Let's play early. So Jenkins, Vlado, Mesa. Go for a pick and cut. Okay, Vlado, here, it would cut nothing. You want early for Siobhan. Okay, early. you're here, Siobhan's going to pin down, hard cut to the corner, come up, over top. Okay, over top.
You don't want to give Michael Morrison that kind of room to finish at the rim. He has been overshadowed, though, by the dunking performance of Eric Buckner. The Fraport Skyliners have fought and fought to try and stay with the team that started the game day top of Group A. And they've got themselves in a position ahead of the fourth quarter where they can look to cause what would be an upset. Even here on home court, even for the Europe Cup champions, they have not started the season the way they wanted to. 2-3 so far. A big defeat in Denmark against the Bakken Bears last week, and they're looking to respond, but in tough circumstances. It's going to have to be some quarter from the Germans now. Fraport Skyliners start with the ball, and these home fans will do everything they possibly can to roar their team on towards the finish. Antonio Graves, Siobhan Shields. Shields getting into the paint, hanging it over the top of the defense. What a second half he's had. Siobhan Shields now has 13 in the game, and it's a one possession game. I think that's a technical on Will Cummings after he knocked Max Mertz to the floor. Mertz went down. We saw so many fouls off the ball in that third quarter, as many as I can remember calling any game so far in this competition. It really has been a feisty contest, really well contested. The technical was on Fraport Skyliners. So the point for Aris and the possession. I thought momentarily it might have gone the other way. Here's Cummings. Buckner makes his move. Clinging onto it though. Here's Jenkins. Goes around the big frame of Buckner. Jankovic will fire the three and knocks it down. And Aris have really found their range now. Those three-pointers are starting to look the difference. They hit two more over the first three quarters and another one at the start of the fourth. And then Fraport Skyliners turn the ball over. The Skyliners just 3 of 12 from downtown. Aris now 6 of 16. Jenkins. Jankovic steps inside this time, kicks it back out. Another three. Yes, back-to-back threes for Aris. And the Greek streak continues. This time it's Thodoris Zaras. And that one forces the timeout from Fraport.
The shooter. 13's the shooter. Okay, you had the help there. You had nothing to do with it. Okay? Hey, listen, we got to really offensively, we got to take care of the ball. We got to take care of the basketball. Listen. Pass here, Siobhan. Hard cut, pick for 10. You cut hard there, Antonio's spotting up there. You're going to look to drive it, change the angle, kick it, fill. Okay? Hey, defense right now. Get back into it with defense. 1, 2, 3.
When you look at the shooting numbers now, and there's not a great deal to choose between these two in terms of the two-point shooting, but Aris have started to light it up from downtown after struggling in the first half. They found their range in the second. I pointed to the foul shots previously, but actually after the 4 straight from Ebekwe for Fraport right at the end of the third quarter, there's not too much difference in those numbers now. It's all about that 3-point shot. Ron Shields passes out, they move it around. Robertson, contested 3. What a big shot for the Skyliners. Just 3 of 12 from downtown, and that one contested. But Robertson got it to go. He thought it was overly contested and he wanted the and one. Fake pass from Cummings, then it knocked away by Ebekwe. Aris still have a decent advantage in this position. They lead by 7 with 8 minutes to play. And although it's a good response off the timeout from Coach Herbert's team, the 3-pointer and the defensive stop, and now a foul on Jankovic. The first on Aris in the quarter. There's a bit of foul trouble for both teams. Jankovic picks up his 3rd. Anthopoulos is on 4. Cummings also on 3, as is Mortosh. We talked about tempers being frayed early on. We've seen a few unsportsmanlikes, a few technicals, a whole heap of regular fouls. It has been as tight and as tense and as physical as any basketball Champions League game that I have seen this season. 2 sets of players who really have gone at it. Great intensity, and there is a gain there as Vaughan knocks Cummings to the floor. Conley Vaughan will pick up his 3rd foul. The home team have now 5 players on 3 fouls. Graves, Robertson, Ebekwe and Shields are also at that mark. There's 4 on Max Mertz. The inbound to Buckner from Cummings. Buckner hands it off to Jenkins. Jenkins making his way towards the baseline. Risky pass to the far side and turns it over. Good defensive pressure from Quintez Robertson on the ball handler, Will Cummings. So many of those turnovers have been forced by intense defense. Fraport a chance to make it really close again. Graves around the back, puts it in. Brilliant play from Antonio Graves. And it's a 4-point game. 18 points now for Graves. He's 7 of 9 from the field. It's been a very steady 18 as well, consistent throughout. Jenkins off the screen, misses the 3. It's tipped and away by Ebekwe. Vaughan. The Germans building momentum again here. Kwame Vaughan. Back to Siobhan Shields, who's been a big scorer in this second half and continues in that vein. The spin move in the paint and the finish. And Fraport Skyliners within 2. The Frankfurt crowd really getting going now. 6.5 minutes to play. Ball knocked away and out of bounds. Still a wayside possession. But look at this move from Siobhan Shields, who now has 15. Shields 7 of 9 for 15. Graves 7 of 9 for 18 for the home team. Efficient, big scoring games. Is it going to be enough? A breakdown in the defense as Will Cummings turned on the afterburners. It's been a struggle for him this evening, mainly because of early foul trouble and then missing his first 4 shots. But that's a big play as we approach the final stretch, and he's got a chance to add the extra point from the foul line. 2 of 6 from the field now for 4 points. Every time Fraport Skyliners have closed the gap, Aris have come back and not let them take the lead. They got within 3 on an early run. They tied level in the third. They just got within 2, but it's back to 5 again. Graves, final 5 seconds of the shot clock. Graves backs off and looks to attack. The long 3 off the mark, and the rebound grabbed by Aris. Just the 3rd miss of the game for Antonio Graves. Buckner up against Ebekwe. There's that battle again. Back out to Aris. Aris stepping in, knocked away, recovered by Vaughan in the foul. That's the 3rd steal of the night for Kwame Vaughan. Ebekwe, he's going to take on the 3. He beats Buckner to it. The 2 big men on the outside. Ebekwe with a hand in his face from Buckner. Cummings down court, fouled by Graves. No, it's a travel. So Will Cummings turns it over, and Fraport Skyliners have the chance again to level, or maybe even take the lead. The travel on Cummings, and now a chance for the Germans to lead for the first time. They're going to attack inside instead, and Ebekwe gets fouled as they look to tie the game. And they'll have to earn them both from the stripe. Well, the battle between these 2 teams is going the distance, and the battle between Ebekwe and Buckner is going the distance. Buckner might have had the better of him around the rim so far, but Ebekwe taking on the 3 on that last offense and knocking it down as Buckner came to greet him on the perimeter. That's the extra weapon that Ebekwe has in his arsenal, that outside shot. This time the hard foul has sent him to the line as he looks to move into double figures. 4 of 4 from the foul line so far, all 4 of those coming towards the end of the 3rd quarter. And he makes it a perfect 5 out of 5. Ebekwe now with 10 points, 5 rebounds and 2 blocked shots. Efficient as well, 2 of 4 from the line, or 2 of 4 from the field rather, and 6 of 6 from the line now for 11 points. 65-65, Fraport Skyliners level again, looking to inflict just the 2nd defeat of the Basketball Champions League on Aris. Tipped away, a chance to take the lead in transition. Here comes Vaughan. Recovered on the far side. Ebekwe, the 3, bang! Ekene Ebekwe with 2 big 3-pointers in the 4th. And from 12 points down, Fraport Skyliners have their first lead of the ball game. Well, Eric Buckner might get a bit more time on the highlight reel, but Ekene Ebekwe is looking to have the final say. The first lead for Fraport Skyliners coming over the midway point of the 4th quarter. We have seen a big man duel of the highest quality. That time it was Anthopoulos trying to close out on Ebekwe, but he knocks down his 2nd 3 of the 4th. And look what it means to him and to the rest of this crowd in Frankfurt. 14 points in 14 minutes now for the number 25, as well as 5 rebounds and 2 blocks. And it's been a fascinating tussle with Eric Buckner Buckner has 13 points and 10 boards for the double-double, but Abekwe has just surpassed him in scoring and 2 big shots down the final stretch. Jenkins trying a 3, got it as he stepped away from Abekwe. We are neck and neck again. Vaughan. Abekwe, another 3. Not this time. And again, the hand in his face from Buckner. And he's feeling it, Ekene Abekwe. Xanthopoulos playing on 4 fouls, the number 4. Across to the far side it goes. Buckner calling for it. Jankovic lost it though. And he's called for the unsportsmanlike foul as well. And with 4 minutes to play, Aris are going to hit the foul limit. Great steal from Robertson. Got his left hand on the ball, wrestled it off his opponent. Robertson's 3rd steal of the game. The 4th foul on Jankovic, the 15th foul on Aris. The unsportsmanlike called as well. Robertson can't finish from the foul line though. 13 steals in the game now from Fraport Skyliners. Kwame Vaughan's got 4. Robertson hits the 2nd to give Frankfurt the go-ahead. And they'll have possession of the ball as well with 4 minutes to play. Kwame Vaughan across to the far side to Graves. Vaughan again. Up against his opposite number, onto the left hand. Great steal from Xanthopoulos, who recovers the ball, playing on 4 fouls. Jankovic. I was just talking about steals. And that was one of the best so far. Thrown into the hands of Abekwe though. The long pass to Robertson. Robertson back to the perimeter. Shields gives it in back. They'll slow it down here. Nothing they liked on the fast break. Kwame Vaughan looking to dictate the tempo. Vaughan looking to attack one-on-one. Shot clock to the final second. Shields gets inside and it knocked away. Back-to-back steals from Xanthopoulos. He's got 3 now. And 2 of them coming, well, playing on 4 fouls. Jenkins, and then the 3 from the far side is good with the contact. A chance at a 4-point play for Michael Jenkins. Big play after big play from both teams. Back and forth we go here in the 4th. It's an absolute classic of a basketball Champions League game. The foul on Abekwe, who looked like he was going to be the hero of the 4th quarter. I do apologise if you just lost your picture for a moment. We're back with you hopefully now for the final 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Kwame Vaughan getting away and getting contact as well for Cyrelis as he put it in. And a chance at a 3-point play after the 4-point play opportunity at the other end. I said it was big play after big play. That theme continues. Kwame Vaughan completes the 3-point play. Fraport Skyliners trail by 1. I beg your pardon, that was a missed shot, so he's got 2 at the line here. And he ties. So Vaughan finally gets into double figures. He had been stuck on 9 for some time. It's 11 points now, 5 assists and 4 steals for the number 4. These two inseparable over the first 37.5 minutes. Cummings hangs it high. Oh, Buckner with the best of the lot. A hat-trick of alley-oops for Eric Buckner. Vaughan trying to answer that. What a big play from Buckner, who's now on defence. Across to the far side it goes. Shields looking to get the defence moving, and he's called for the travel right at the end of the shot clock. Look at this from Buckner. Half American, half amazing. Buckner now moves up to 15. As well as his 10 rebounds, he's just overtaken Ibekwe, who's got 14 points. Here's Buckner on the perimeter. Jenkins, quick release for the three, won't go. Rebound grabbed by Morrison and a foul from Jankovic. Jankovic protesting his case to the official, but that's going to be his 5th foul, so it's the end of the line for Vlado Jankovic. Fouled out on 11 points. 4 assists and a steal. In comes Spiros Mortos, who himself is in foul trouble. And Aris over the foul limit, so Michael Morrison to the line. Morrison hits, having missed his only 2 previous foul shots in the game. This one to try and get Fraport Skyliners level again. Tantalising stuff here in the Basketball Champions League. Michael Morrison gets Fraport Skyliners level at 73. 102 tantalising seconds left to play. Can Aris Thessalonica get back to winning ways after their first defeat last week and move 5-1 and keep their place at the top of Group A? Or will Fraport Skyliners, with the return of head coach Gordon Herbert, respond to their disappointment in Denmark last week and go 3-3? Will Cummings can't get away from Vaughan. Back out it goes to Jenkins. Jenkins driving inside, hanging it up. Wouldn't go down, and it's grabbed by Graves. A chance for Fraport Skyliners to get themselves ahead here. Kwame Vaughan, the three is good for Vaughan, the go-ahead three-pointer. And Kwame Vaughan now has 14. A fantastic all-round game from the number 4. Timeout called by Aris Thessalonica, who have led for the vast majority, but they trail when it really matters. And those three-pointers have been a real struggle for Fraport Skyliners, but they've hit a number of them down the stretch.
You go with Aris, and then wait a little bit here and give a second pick over here, okay? Okay, play one simple plan for win. Yes, play outside for him. He fouls. Listen. Stop. Turn the screen on the side.
And there's been a number of outstanding individual performances on both sides of the floor. Kwame Vaughan now 14 points, 5 assists, 4 steals. Antonio Graves 18 points off 7 of 10 shooting. Ibekwe 14 points And 5 rebounds, 2 block shots in just 15 minutes. 15 points for Siobhan Shields. And for Aris, 22 points for Jenkins. 15 points, 10 rebounds for Buckner. The Greeks trail by 3 as we approach the final minute. Will Cummings, he's had just 5 so far, but he could still have the final say. Here goes Cummings, kicks it out. The 3 falls short and into the hands of Kwame Vaughan, off the miss from Zaras. Vaughan getting away from Cummings as well. It's Fraport Skyliners to lose now. And Vaughan is going to be fouled by Cummings, who was trying to stick as tight to him as possible. It's the 4th foul on Cummings. And Aris are over the foul limit. They wanted to try and get the steal if they could. They end up stopping the clock at least. But Kwame Vaughan at the foul line for Fraport Skyliners, very accomplished from the strike. 5 of 7 so far this evening. Clutch free throws now, and he gets the first. 15 points in the game for Vaughan. The fans at the Fraport Arena are hanging on each and every play. This would be a huge win for the Skyliners to get back on track in the Basketball Champions League. Kwame Vaughan hitting the foul shots and keeping them ahead with a bit of breathing room as well as Aris called the timeout.
On a blue, you gotta get up aggressive. No, everybody gets but Cummings will look to go. You gotta build contain. Let's go.
With the return of their head coach, Fraport Skyliners have shown all of the qualities that have been lacking over the first 5 weeks of this competition: a resilience, a determination, a togetherness. And they have come through and they've come back from 12 down against the Group A leaders to lead now by 5. 42 seconds to play. Cummings on the ball for Aris. Now across to Jenkins. Step back 3. Won't go down. Big rebound Buckner. He's forced away from the hoop though, and Cummings then gets contact from Robertson. Quintez Robertson with his 4th personal. Just waiting to see if that was the 4th or 5th foul. It was the 5th on Fraport Skyliners, so it's going to be foul shots for Aris with 30.3 seconds to play. Clutch foul shots for them as well now for Will Cummings, who only has 5 points in the game, 2 of 6 from the field. He gets that one just about to drop. 2 of 2 from the line now. Foul trouble early on for Aris's leading scorer in this competition, and he's not found his feet or found his flow since returning. He misses that second one, and the rebound grabbed onto by Robertson, clinging to it for dear life as Fraport Skyliners look to cling to this advantage with less than 30 seconds to play. And a disappointing night for Will Cummings continues. The 5th foul on Aris's top scorer, so it sends Fraport Skyliners straight to the line at the other end with the battling Quintez Robertson. Cummings fouled out on 6 points. Robertson rubbing salt in his opponent's wounds. And this is the second one. Quick offense needed for Aris now. Jenkins fires the three, can't hit. An air ball from Jenkins, recovered on the offensive glass though. Zaris just has to throw it up. Vaughan with a block as well. Zaris again. They keep on firing, but they keep on missing. And this is going to be Fraport Skyliners' game now. This was the 5th foul on Cummings. And he has to sit and watch as his teammates fail to overturn a late deficit. They have led for most of this game, but Fraport Skyliners have battled and battled away. And they're 10.7 seconds away from going 3-3 and making it back-to-back defeats for Aris Thessalonica, who'd won their first 4 in this competition. Aris are going to lose the game, and they're going to lose top spot in Group A. Jenkins the 3, off the mark. Well, they'll maintain that intensity on defence. No luck down the stretch for Aris. A huge win. Fraport flying high again. And the Skyliners shooting for the stars with the return of their head coach. They win it 81-74, having come from 12 points down. Some huge performances for the Germans. 20 points for Antonio Graves to lead the way, 7 of 10 from the field. Will Cummings had a nightmare night in Frankfurt, fouled out on just 6 points. Here's a look at the overall shooting statistics. Not a great deal to choose between them inside. And Aris in the end did a couple more 3-pointers, but look at the foul shots. They really picked it up, Frankfurt, to finish with 24, with Aris in foul trouble. And they won the rebounding battle as well. Plenty of turnovers, a lot of them forced. So a really intense defense on court this evening. 28 fouls from Aris Thessalonica though. And they struggled to deal with that. Cummings was fouled out for them, as was Jankovic. A little too much defensive intensity at times. Some huge games, 22 points, a game high for Jenkins, but he ends up on the losing side, and a double-double for Buckner, who also ends up on the losing side despite 15 points and 12 rebounds. They look to have the better of Ebekwe for the most part in that big man duel, but Ebekwe came back strong in the 4th and hit 2 big-time 3-point shots, as he finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks and a steal in 16 minutes on court. Now, this was a real advert for the Basketball Champions League, and it's Fraport Skyliners who come out on top. Look at that monster 4th quarter, 31 points. They finally found their range from the outside. Now look at the way they struggled in the first. They had to come from 10 down at the end of the first. They trailed by 12 towards the start of the second. Able to respond before half-time though, trailing by just 3. They fell behind by a greater margin again in the second, but fought and they rallied time and time again, and they come through to get the win. The final score at the Fraport Arena: Fraport Skyliners 81, Aris Thessalonica 74. It's been a pleasure having your company here on Game Day 6 of the Basketball Champions League. A few of the games still taking place around Europe this evening, so do tune into those. But from me, I'll see you next time.